And welcome back to Jeff Koinange, live at the Intercontinental Hotel. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'm sure Emmanuelians are watching. That's because their favorite son is on JKL tonight. Barrack Muluka, publisher, political analyst, journalist, you name it, man about town, he's here. Greek mythology, Shakespeare, even Chinua. Nobody is spared. He quotes them all. Tweets coming in, Jeff. Fast and furious, my man says. Let me read a couple. Martha Musioki says, Emmanuelia, Mabole. What is Mabole? My motherland.
It's the next Hamlet.
Over from Emmanuelia.
Yes, it's just here.
Ah,
yeah.
He's saying Barrack, saying it as it is, corruption will kill this country. Pete Ondeng says, all these issues come down to the need for an overhaul of leadership culture. We need a catalyst. And then he asks, but who? Judith Dora Akolo says, I believe we are in the days of 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 11, and I pray that we turn the corner. Then we have this character called Kinodia Gadero. Gadero. He says, my brother, why the red eyes?
Has he been to that place where you recently took refuge for?
Yeah, has he been?
A few days.
Has he been?
you need to tell us about that place.
Oh my, oh my. So, are there any solutions? And I ask, and I keep saying this because state of corruption will, this corruption will never go away. We have children. I have a 7-year-old who turns 8 very soon. Is he going to grow up and saying, Dad, you people messed up this country. You people messed it up.
You know, it has got to go. And we have said before that if it's not made to go, it will make itself to go. And if it makes itself to go, we won't like the way it will go. So we have got to cause it to go, because this is a thing that is fermenting. And what is fermenting, and I agree with my friend Pete Ondeng, and Pete Ondeng is himself one of the paragons of virtue in this country. When he asks for a catalyst, we need more people like him to come out and speak out. You remember Kofi Annan telling us and telling the world that if the people will speak out and if they will get out of their silent zones, then something will happen. The change will come. But then you see, we keep quiet. And I don't want to quote this so that you say I'm quoting, but as an academician, I must give ownership.
Go ahead.
Wole Soyinka has told us that the man dies in everybody who keeps silent in a moment and environment of oppression. Let's paraphrase him. So there are lots of these good people out there. They keep quiet because they don't want to be said to be controversial. Yeah. They don't want to be said to be negative. They want to be good people. You know that thing of trying to be good people, to be politically correct. They are angling for certain opportunities, and they are afraid of losing those opportunities if they will speak out. Yeah. And all these people become some of the supporters of the corrupt system. They give it energy. Yeah. But if you had citizens who are able to say, we don't like this, we are not going to accept it, we want a change, that change would come. Because it is true that no country in the world, from the beginning of history, from ancient antiquity to the present day, no society in the world has ever had a government that is better than it has ever had leaders who are better than what they need. So it is up to the citizens to say that enough is enough. And if they have a good chief resident in State House and who says, I'm going to turn the history of this country around, believe you me, it will turn.
Yeah, this brings me to Faisal Khalif, who says, tell Muluka to vie for president. I will vote for him because he is a candid man.
When that time comes, they turn like this.
They tell you now on Twitter.
Yes, but I'm their oracle. And there must be a difference between the oracle and the king. The king must be allowed to be the king, or the kings must be allowed to be the kings.
Yes.
I will be a Levite and an oracle.
Okay. Kennedy Kimathi says, Kenya needs selfless leaders who are willing to stop corruption. Are they there? Are they present? Do they exist?
He is one of them. He's one of them. The problem is that he's unwilling to come out to offer himself for the political competition. Perhaps he has looked at the landscape and he has seen that maybe the playing ground is completely flawed. So he decides that he doesn't. But good people must come out.
Ahmed Mohammed says, as Shakespeare says, sleepless is the head that wears the crown. How can we help our leaders instead of always lamenting?
When we come here, we don't come here to lament. We come here to say it as it is. When you say that people are drowning out there, cars are swimming, even lorries are swimming in temporary rivers in Nairobi, that is not lamentation. It's calling it as it is. And you can ask what the origins of that are, and you will find that it is about corrupt leadership. And if leadership is corrupt, there's no way I'm going to help it. I'm going to expose it for what it is, because the only way you could help it is to help it to be more corrupt. In fact, the only responsibility that you have as a citizen is to remove it and put there an alternative leadership that answers to public service, answers to commitment to service. And we have not seen leadership that answers to commitment to service. That one of the rewards of power, which we said at the start of this show, is corruption. That when you get there, it is your turn to eat. And we were told that by our good friend John Gidongo, that people told him that it is our turn to eat.
And that's what they're still doing today.
That thing is called prebendalism.
Pre what?
Prebendalism.
Google is your friend.
Prebendalism it comes from the medieval ages, when in the church itself there were people who sat in a special secluded place which was called the prebend, and the reward they were getting, these prebendaries, were special kinds of funds from the collection from the church, and this was happening in a corrupt manner. Here in Africa, we live under regimes that you can call prebendary regimes, and the whole thing is prebendalism. That there's that feeling of entitlement to state revenue, that when you compete for political power, you compete not so that you could rule and so that you could give good quality service, that you could improve the standards of living for your people. You get there so that you can eat. And the best way to do it is to create a class of prebendaries. And these prebendaries will be your friends. They will be people from your tribe, and you will convince the tribe that this government is our government, while you know very well that you are eating with a few prebendaries. But the propaganda will be such that everybody from the tribe believes that they are part of the system that is eating, even as they know very well that they are not eating anything. And the impression will also be created among other tribes that actually the whole of this tribe is eating, and at their own level they will have small scaled down competitions, and they are going to be hostile competitions, so that the people from the tribe where the prebendaries are coming from are feeling that they are protecting their thing, and the others who are outside feel that they want to put their people into power. And when they get there, they don't do anything different.
Barrack, when did you get time to read medieval history? Prebender what?
Prebendalism.
Like, the word for the day is prebendalism. Ledama Olekina says, the only time we will achieve progress in this country is when you and I decide to fight corruption, not Parliament.
Correct. And you can look at this Parliament, look at the way they behaved a few days ago, that they were vindictive, that there was a lot of levity when they were looking at these questions of what to do about the stalemate between the National Assembly and the Senate on the division of revenue bill between the national government and the county government. And they say that the judiciary has said that the Senate has got a say in the division of revenue. So let us take this money from the Senate and give it to the counties. Then they say the judiciary has also offended us, so let us take something from them and put it here. There is levity, there's coinange, there is vindictiveness, and there's abuse of power. Then you look at the Senate itself, it's talking about allocating itself billion shillings ostensibly to go out and do oversight. And we know very well that this is all about a gravy train. Now, country that has got this kind of leadership, and it is cultural, needs more than prayers.
Yeah, we're in a bad situation. Guy called Greetings Kenya says, prebendalism. Yawa, this is serious.
Yes, it's not a joke.
He meant the word. Simon said saying that word is torturing some of us with small brains.
No, we should quit small brains. Let him understand the notion of prebendalism, lest he should be a victim of the prebendaries.
And they are there.
In plenty.
Stanley, we call him Stano. He's the cameraman right there in the middle. He Googled the word while you were talking, prebendalism.
Yes, and what did he find?
Said Muluka is spot on.
Yes.
Hiya. Goodness. Going forward, Barrack. Going forward. Look, everybody's looking towards 2017, which is literally around the corner.
We should not be talking about elections day in, day out. Elections are about validation of democracy. And democracy is not about people voting. Democracy is about the totality of way of life. That it's about opportunities, that those who are privileged to exercise the power of state, exercise that power responsibly in the interest of the overall good of the citizens, that they create opportunities on equal basis, as equal as possibly could happen, that every so often the citizens are called to the polls to validate, to confirm that these people are governing well and therefore they can carry on, or alternatively to say that they are not governing well and therefore we can replace them. And when we replace them, they embark on the activities of state. Those who are outside make it their responsibility to interrogate what those who are in power are doing. But you can see that since 1992, this country has been permanently in the elections mode. Elections have become an end in themselves.
Real quick, someone was asking earlier on, what do you think of the new appointments of the central bank governor and the chairman of the board of central bank? Central Bank Governor Koinange.
You see, people who occupy high seats of power virtually everywhere in the world will appoint persons that they consider going to be trustworthy to them, they consider have got the necessary capacity, qualifications, and there can be no denying that Koinange is eminently qualified to be the governor of the Central Bank of Kenya, and that there are other people who have also been appointed who are eminently qualified to occupy those seats. We cannot question that. The only unfortunate thing about it is that it seems to follow a pattern, and sometimes State House must accept that it pays lip service to things like creating a situation where there is inclusiveness and everybody is being seen to be there. Yes, there are people who have been appointed from other places, but sometimes it looks like where it is very critical, where the rubber meets the road, the wrong thing is done. And we're not saying this of President Kenyatta alone. We have seen it with other people. We had the half-a-loaf government, and in the half-a-loaf government, this happened on both sides of the political divide. Absolutely. We had the Nyayo era, or maybe Nyayo, some people have had being less than charitable, and instead of saying era, they have said era. I don't know whether they have done so in levity. But we had the Nyayo era. Yes. We had the first government after independence, and that particular exercise, again, to use the same expression, has deteriorated steadily. What about Nyaoga as chairman of the board? Nyaoga is very competent. He's equal to the task, and I'm not saying this because he's my friend. You know, he's my friend. Yes. Maybe that clouds me a little bit, that I don't see other things, but I think he's competent, up to the task. And we do hope that himself and Ngugi Njoroge and the others can address the question of the ailing Kenyan shilling, which is taking a beating. Do so urgently. Otherwise, I think all said and done, these are people who are competent. They can do the job that they have been given. Absolutely. And let them do that job. Let us give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, in about 5-6 weeks' time, your namesake comes to town. It's not a state visit. He's coming here for the entrepreneurial function at the UN. Barrack, the other Barrack with the 1 R. With 1 R, yes. You think anything will come of that? You think he's going to come and do anything significant here? Or you think anything will change? Because obviously it looks like a lot of things are being aligned because he's going to come and do something, say something, whatever. What do you think? I think the relationship between this government and the United States and the Western world generally has thawed significantly from the period 2010 up to where we are. I think there's been some change. We have seen that President Kenyatta has visited the United States, and he was very well received. He was about to visit again recently when what we don't know happened, and he had to come back. We don't know what goodies he would have come back with. I don't want to believe that President Obama can come here and it's less than a state visit. Whichever way we look at it, it is a state visit. Whatever nomenclature they want to apply, it is a state visit. And I do expect that he's going to have a moment or moments with our president. They are going to look at a variety of things. There's a lot that they need to discuss. The security situation in the country, and which in my estimation the Western world has handled badly. They are the ones who bundled us in the first instance with this challenge. We were good people who are just living well around here, agreed that at independence we had the shifter problem, which seemed to have been a problem in the greater Somalia. It has been said that the five directional star on the Somali flag at that time was pointing in different direction, claiming some territory in Ogaden, claiming some territory in Kenya, in British Somaliland, Italian Somaliland, and so on and so forth. But we crossed that bridge. Then, of course, we had the Palestinian problem. And you know, we have even forgotten where this whole saga of terrorism began. That it began, strictly speaking, with the Palestinian question, that at some point people who are seen to have been friends of Israel and the United States of America, who are giving the necessary bulwark to the Israelis, became legitimate targets, that people who thought they were desperate to the extent that they could blast themselves up, started blasting everybody right and center.
That's right.
And now we've gotten to a point where you are being told it is your problem. We have seen that the Americans went to Iraq. We saw what they did there. We have seen that they were behind the so-called Arab Spring. Things have gotten very bad. The ISIS is
a mess. It's a runaway mess.
On the rampage.
So they are accountable. The West is accountable.
They are accountable, and it is laughable when Barack Obama goes to Bavaria and he says we are going to speed up the training of Iraqis to engage with ISIS. ISIS are on the rampage, and you are saying that we are going to train these people to go and engage with them. Very soon they are going to override Lebanon, they are going to override Jordan, they are going to
the shores of Europe.
They are going to get into Turkey, they are going to find a way into Europe, and before you know what is happening, they have overrun the whole place.
Hello. Real quick before we wind up, Joy Doreen Bira, she's actually asking a question you had kind of answered earlier on. What does Barrack think of 4 cabinet secretaries invited to that entrepreneurial summit yesterday with the president were MIA? The president mentioned them in Parliament. What are your thoughts, real quick?
My quick thoughts are that there's dysfunction in State House. There's dysfunction in communications in State House that I don't want to believe that cabinet secretaries have been invited to this meeting and they are not able to turn up, and that State House has sent out the correct information through the correct channels. I don't want to believe that. I know that Rotich is expected to read the budget speech tomorrow. I would expect that this is the season when he must be very busy trying to polish it up. I know that Aidan Mohammed is a very conscientious individual, a stickler for detail, a great performer, and one of the best people that we have in this government. I don't want to believe that he would snub a presidential function. That we have got Jacob Koinange, give him the benefit of the doubt for all his weaknesses, including seeming to shout at every corner instead of even reading his speech. He shouts it. But I think he's also a conscientious individual. I don't want to believe that he would snap. Let me tell you what I think about this. I think that President Kenyatta is a person who is very loyal to his friends, which is a good thing. All of us should be loyal to our friends. But I think that he carried a lot of baggage from the campaign trail to State House. And he has got people within that State House around him who are holding the presidency and the State House hostage. That these people try to position themselves almost as if they were the power behind the throne. That these must be the people behind the fumbled effort to go to the United States, the fumbled effort to go to Nigeria, the fumbled expression of commiserations with the families of people who had not died, the fumbled communications between State House and senior state officers. When you have those kinds of people who are festooning power, they tend to exclude people, and you're going to have this collapse. I think these are people who should have been jettisoned away from the center of power, and the sooner the president finds a parachute to get them out of that circle and allows the professionals that he has appointed in government to work with him on policy, on protocol, on programs, the sooner he does that, the better for him. Otherwise, you can say there's no government here. Was government invited? Were the proper channels used? I think there are people holding State House hostage.
Reminds me of that line in the movie Apollo 13.
Yes.
Where he turns to Houston and he says,
we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
We have a problem.
Barrack, great to see you as always.
Asante sana.
Thanks for your time. Please greet the Emmanuelians for me.
And they are looking for you, eh? You come with.
Salimia Pielo Sana.
Asante
Mambia
sana.
Pole.
Bas.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Festooning.
Festooning.
And what was the word of the day again?
Prebendalism. Prebendalism.
The word for the day is prebendalism.
Lism.
Oh, prebendalism.
Prebendalism.
I'm from Central.
You can give it a bit of swag.
Barrack, always reliable to leave us with some really tough words, but always Google is your friend. Wow, we learned so much when this man comes to town. It's great to see State of the Nation. And yes, we can kill that dragon called corruption. We can tackle it at least step by step. Tomorrow night, all of you who love Inspirational Thursday are gonna love this one. None other than Kamkunji Member of Parliament, Yusuf Hassan.
Yes.
Good guy.
Yes, indeed.
At the prayer breakfast, he gave an impassioned speech about inter-ethnic relations. Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Tomorrow night, tell a friend to tell a friend who knows a friend. Kamkunji MP, Yusuf Hassan, on the bench tomorrow. Inspiration Thursday like no other. Keep tweeting at Barrack M, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. Thanks so much for always being a part of this show. Never forget that JKL is only on Kenya's television network KTN. Every Wednesday, every Thursday, same time, same place. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night. Good luck.
Asante sana.
Asante ndugu. Emmanuelians.
Twende huko wewe.